everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today I got a great game to talk about called Escape Plan by Vital Lacerda and published by Eagle Gryphon Games. It plays 1 to 5 in 60 to 120 minutes. And here's what the game's about. After a successful bank heist, you and your fellow thieves are laying low. Everything is going well until the police get a breakthrough in their investigation and they start to close in. You all decide to go your separate ways. SWAT teams called in and start to close off the city's exits. You and your fellow thieves must escape the city before it is completely locked down, but you need an escape plan. You will need to call in some favors and hire the local gangs to create diversions. Will you escape the city with the most money, or will the police lock down the city before you can escape? That's the challenge. Let's go to the table and I'll tell you a little bit about it. Okay, this is a finished game of the Escape Plan. We just completed it, and I wanted to show you what it looked like and tell you a little bit about how the game is played. I'm not going to cover everything because this is a very complex game, and there's a lot of rules, and there's people out there that do it a heck of a lot better than I can, and you're welcome to go check them out. Paul Grogan does a gaming rules video and so forth. So there's, I think Antlab Games does a playthrough, and they're very good at what they do, and you can learn how to play the game there. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the game. So to start the game out, this board will only have 2 starting tiles on it. These 2 that you see here in the center, and the rest of the city is added in later rounds. They will be stacked next to the board in 4 stacks of 3 each. That gives you 3 rounds of play in this game. As the city tiles come out, of course, you're going to add locations to the board, and those are locations that are now open that you can travel to. And the reason why you want to do that, of course, is to gather up money. And money is the goal of this game. You want the most money when it's time to get out of the city. And then when you count all your cash, of course, the person with the most money wins the game. And you get cash in various ways. You get cash from these building locations, and you'll see them on the board, and you'll either get income or end-game cash when you visit those locations. Then also you can go to a safe house and get income or end-game cash, and you can go to the lockers if you have a key. When you go when you go to the safe houses, you can get these metal keys, and the keys unlock these lockers over here, and there's big bunches of money to be gained from these lockers. So those are the ways you get cash in here, some of them, and that's the biggest ones. There's also cash to be had in your satchel. There's cash from these exit tiles and so forth, but for the most part, those 4 things are going to get you the bulk of the cash that you're going to need to win this game. So right over here we have a track called the notoriety track, and your notoriety changes throughout the game. And as you can see, this is my yellow marker. I was at the highest notoriety on the track, and I had to pay $100,000 penalty at the end of the game. So you don't want to get caught out up there like I did. However, I did manage to win this game by doing that. And the reason was because in this game there's going to be only 1 exit when you get ready to leave the city. Once those tiles come out, you're also going to be playing these patrol cards, and as the patrol cards come out, it becomes clear which exit's going to be open. There's 1 card missing from the stack. There's 2, 4, 6 patrol cards. You're going to take 1, put it in the box. So the exit with the one that has the 1 card left is the one that is going to be open for you to leave the city. In our game, it came out in the last round. The exit that we were going to leave through came out in the last round, and I was the first player. I was able to take that tile, put it next to me, and leave the city by moving to that tile and then leaving. Of course, we counted our cash at that point, and the game was over. But during the game, you're going to go after these contact cards that assist you. There is what they call fixer tiles that you can purchase to assist you. And they all go on your player board. There's asset tiles on your player board that assist you. So there's all these various things that you can do to help yourself throughout this game, because again, it's very complex. And let's see, during our game, of course, we play 2-player. There was a dummy player, and her name is Sandra, and she's not really a dummy, but this is Sandra over here. And she's going to move around arbitrarily through the game. She takes her turn just like you take a turn, and she has a deck of cards, and we're just going to flip those cards over, and the first location that comes up that's on the board, she's going to move that location, and she acts like another cop, which is a pain, because avoiding the cops in this game is really difficult. It's something that is probably the biggest challenge in the game. But yeah, so she moves around the board. She has a marker on the notoriety track. She's got a marker in the turn order. So she's a big player in the game, and it's something that you have to think about. But hey, that's basically the game. You're going to have a card. Each player has a card, and that's their escape plan card, and it lists the locations on the card that you have to visit. You don't have to visit these, but you have to choose, and you get to. It tells you whether it's end game money or income. Income is with the $sign, and the other monies there are money that you get at the end of the game. So to visit those locations, that's what you're going to get. And at times you'll want income so that you can buy contact cards or activate the asset tiles and activate the contact cards. So you need money in your satchel during the game. And you also need to think about having $10,000 to get out, because if you're not the first player out, everybody else has to pay 10 grand to get out of the game. Okay, now let's talk about the components of this game and the production of it. First of all, I want to say that Eagle Griffin Games, I don't know if there's a better game publisher out there when it comes to production. I have various Lacerda games, Lisboa, Vinos, and Gallerist. I think were all done by Eagle Griffin for Vital Lacerda, and they're off the charts in production quality, and this is no different. I mean, you get these are your little characters that you become during the game. This is the little thief, and you can see he's carrying a satchel there because he's gathering up cash and stuffing that thing full of cash. Your little police are screen printed. There's the regular cops, and I believe those are the federal cops, and that's the SWAT team. So those guys are cool too. All the chits, all the tokens are very thick, a very nice token quality. Markers are really cool and nice. I mean, these city tiles are very thick, and here's the little gang members that you can hire to help you out. They're riding motorcycles, so those guys are cool too. And then another, you know, when it comes to detail, look at the coffee stains on the board that were made. But you know, while you were making your escape plan, someone sat their coffee on the board and made left coffee rings, and you know, that's a great detail because you know, thieves aren't smart. That's why they're thieves. So they put their coffee cup on there when they were making their plan and left rings. But yeah, so that's some of the great quality. Now this is a Kickstarter version because so I have metal keys that came with mine. But I mean, you know, the regular keys that are cardboard are just as nice, very thick. You know, it wouldn't be any different for me to play the game with those. That's no big deal. Now your player boards, they're super nice. You can see. They have cutouts for your income level, where your cubes go to show what your income level is, and where your asset tiles go. They're all cutouts. You have a place for your notoriety. I mean, it's a very thick player board. The money is nice thick tokens. Yeah, I mean, you can go on games don't come any better produced than this. This is amazing. And they've done it before for Vital Lacerda and his other games, and they sure knocked it out of the park with this. So yeah, you're not shortchanged at all. The box has a nice insert in it, a super heavy, thick box. I mean, geez, I get some game boxes that are like Kleenex boxes, and it drives me nuts. But this is a very thick box, nice insert for all your pieces and everything to go in. So yeah, I mean, they knocked it out of the park. Again, Eagle Griffin Games, they do a terrific job, and I love playing games like this where everything is just high quality. So hey, that's a brief overview of Escape Plan, and we just got done playing it a few hours ago, and that's what it looks like when you're done. But I want to talk about a few highlights of the game, and I don't want to be long-winded here because who likes long videos? I don't want to sit through them. But I'll try to tell you as quickly as I can what I think about this game. First of all, I want to say that I love the theme of the game. Euro games so often, and people call them dry Euro games. You know, I mean, everybody's got their opinion, but the theme of this game is pretty cool. You're all bank robbers, you're all mad at each other, and you're trying to gather up hidden cash that you guys have stashed all around the city, and you're going to go pick it up and get the heck out of town before the cops get you. And so that's pretty cool. You get to play that. You roll as one of the thieves, and it's pretty neat. So I really, really like that. The rule book was very good. We read the rule book and played it without watching any videos or anything. We played it from the rule book, and we did very well with it. The rule book was very concise. It was very accurate. You can learn how to play this game from the rule book. It's got a glossary of cards and a glossary of tiles, everything that you need to play the game. So that was very good. The game design was very good. The main board, you know, it has the iconography that you need to do the various locations, and the notoriety track and the lockers, and the locker tiles have the description of what you need to get in that locker and so forth. It has player aids that you use to help you while you're playing the game. They tell you what you do at each location. So those things are all cool. The iconography is very good, so forth. The complexity of the game, this is a complex game. I mean, the rule book was 24 pages. And so we were in it quite a bit when we're playing. Sometimes most of everything that you need to play the game is at your fingertips. On the boards, your player board, the main board, the player aid cards, that stuff's all right at your fingertips. But once in a while we had to get in the rule book to clarify something, but it wasn't all that often. But it is a complex game, and I think I've heard people say it's Vital Lacerda's light game. Oh, wow, I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that at all. It's not really that light, so I don't know. Throw that out the window. This game is pretty complex, and that's just the way it is. It's the way his games are. Now the gameplay, let me think. You know, we played 2-player, and we had to use the dummy player, which is Sandra. And that's pretty cool, because I've used Sandra before in Kanban, and she wasn't very nice in Kanban either, and she's just as mean here. So I think that it doesn't matter what her occupation is, she's just going to be mean. Sandra's a mean gal, and she's going to move around the board arbitrarily. Sometimes she'll land on your space and, you know, make you mad because you're going to have one more cop to deal with, because that's what she is. She's another player, and she's also an extra cop. So she's a pain in the butt. But that it works very well, and it worked well in Kanban. It works well here. Sandra knows what she's doing. Now, a couple of things that I didn't like about this game. The first one was the player interaction. I mean, there's not a lot of it. There's just one point where when your notoriety goes up, I believe you get to move some cops. The other players move some cops closer to that player who went up the notoriety track. And you know, I mean, I don't know. I play board games with my wife, and I love her, and I don't want to make her game miserable, but you have to do that. This game is designed for you at that point, and this is it doesn't happen all that often, but when you do it, it's like, the game didn't need that. And if we keep and play this game, we're gonna house rule that completely out of the game, where you move cops onto the tiles of the opponent, so you make their life more difficult. I don't really like that. I didn't like it. So we would move the cops close to their tile, you know, rather than being mean. So, you know, I guess it depends. If you know that going in and you don't mind doing that to other players, hey, you won't have a problem with it. We did. I didn't like doing that, and I thought the game could have been just as good, if not better, without it. So whatever. Then the other thing that I didn't like about this game was how much you had to think about just to move. You know, you have locations that you have on your escape plan card that you need to go to. You need to ask yourself, do I need money? Do I need to heal wounds? What do I need to do? So once you consider all of that, and you have many options, you also have to consider what it's going to take to get there. So you have to avoid all these cops, and you avoid them on different tiles. You know, the tile that you're leaving and the tiles that you're passing through. And so there's just, I caught myself many times just like, I mean, what is it going to take to get from A to B for me? And so the movement was very tedious, and that got on my nerves a little bit. It just didn't seem to flow or play as smoothly as I would have liked. But my wife didn't have a problem with it. She played this game much better than I did, and she adapted to this game much better than I did. And even though I won, she should have won, and she could have done a couple of things at the end of the game where she would have, beaten me by thousands of dollars, and which isn't much in this game. It's still a close game, but she played it much better. She knew the rules much better, and a couple of times told me where to go and where to get better, make a better move. So actually, she helped me win. But yeah, I ended up winning, but she played it much better, and she likes it a lot more than I did. So I'm kind of on the fence. She loves it. She wins because we're going to keep it and play it some more, and maybe love will grow. Love grows in strange places. So if we keep it, she's in love with it. I might love it. So we'll see what happens. But that's escape plan. That's what I think. And make sure, please, leave any comments or questions you have at the bottom of the video, and like and subscribe. And I love all of you. Keep board gaming. It's the greatest hobby on the planet. See you later.